Everyone calls Wednesday Addams a psychopath. The internet is full of theories, articles calling her emotionless, cold, dangerous. But here's what nobody's talking about. Wednesday isn't a psychopath, she's neurodivergent, and there's a massive difference. Let me explain. From the very first episode, Wednesday is labeled as the weird kid, the outcast, the one who doesn't fit in. She doesn't smile. She doesn't cry. She doesn't react the way people expect her to, and everyone assumes that means she doesn't feel. But that's not how it works, because lack of emotional expression doesn't equal lack of emotion. It means she processes feelings differently, and psychologically, that's closer to autism spectrum disorder than psychopathy. Let's break it down. Psychopaths lack empathy. They don't feel guilt. They manipulate people without remorse. They hurt others for personal gain. But Wednesday? She doesn't do any of that. She protects her brother Pugsley from bullies. She's loyal to Enid even when Enid annoys her. She's devastated when she thinks Enid is hurt. She cries when Eugene is in a coma. She feels deeply. She just doesn't show it the way neurotypical people do. And that's not psychopathy. That's alexithymia. Alexithymia is when you have difficulty identifying and expressing emotions, not because you don't have them, but because your brain doesn't process them the same way. You feel something, but you can't name it. You can't show it on your face. You can't communicate it in words. And people assume you're cold. But you're not cold. You're just different. Wednesday has every sign of this. When Enid asks if she's okay, Wednesday says, "I'm fine." But she's clearly not. She's processing trauma, she's dealing with visions, she's carrying the weight of solving murders. But she can't express that vulnerability because her brain doesn't work that way. And instead of people understanding her, they call her a psychopath. Now let's talk about special interests. Autistic people often have intense focused interests, things they're obsessed with, things that make them feel alive. For Wednesday, it's forensics, death, true crime, writing, playing the cello. She doesn't do these things casually. She's consumed by them. She memorizes forensic details. She practices cello obsessively. She writes her novel with laser focus. And when people interrupt her, she's annoyed. Not because she's mean, but because her brain is hyper-focused and switching tasks is painful. This is classic autism, not psychopathy. Psychopaths don't have special interests. They have targets, people they manipulate, goals they achieve through others. But Wednesday? She doesn't manipulate. She investigates, she solves, she protects. Her interests aren't about control, they're about understanding. And that's the difference. Now let's talk about social masking. Autistic people often learn to mask, to pretend to be neurotypical, to fake emotions, to follow social scripts. Because if they don't, they're punished, bullied, excluded. And Wednesday? She refuses to mask. She doesn't fake smiles. She doesn't laugh at jokes she doesn't find funny. She doesn't pretend to care about small talk. And society punishes her for it. They call her creepy, dangerous, a psychopath. But she's not dangerous. She's honest. She's the only person in the show who doesn't lie about who she is. And that's not psychopathy. That's authenticity. Let's look at her relationships. Psychopaths don't form real connections. They use people. They discard them when they're no longer useful. But Wednesday? She's fiercely loyal. She protects Enid when Enid is bullied for not wolfing out. She saves Eugene's life. She refuses to leave Tyler even when she suspects he's dangerous because she believes in evidence, not assumptions. She's not using people. She's trying to connect. She's just bad at it. Because socializing doesn't come naturally to her. And that's not a character flaw. That's neurodivergence. Now here's the big one. Empathy. People say Wednesday has no empathy, but that's wrong. She has cognitive empathy. She understands people's emotions intellectually. She reads body language. She solves mysteries by understanding motives. But she struggles with effective empathy, the automatic emotional response to someone else's pain. When Enid cries, Wednesday doesn't cry with her. But she stays, she listens, she helps. That's empathy, just not the neurotypical kind. And psychopaths don't have either type of empathy. They fake it. They mimic it to manipulate. But Wednesday doesn't fake anything. She's brutally honest about what she feels and what she doesn't. And honestly, that's more authentic than most people. Let's talk about her visions. Wednesday has psychic visions. She touches things and sees the past or future. And every time it happens, she's overwhelmed. Sensory overload. She collapses. She's disoriented. This is a neurodivergent trait. Sensory processing issues. Autistic people often experience sensory overload. Lights are too bright. Sounds are too loud. Touch is too intense. And Wednesday's visions? They're the ultimate sensory nightmare. Her brain is flooded with information she can't control. And instead of people helping her, they use her. They expect her to solve problems with her visions, but nobody asks if she's okay. And that's ableism. Now let's address the violence. Yes, Wednesday has violent tendencies. She released piranhas into a pool. She nearly killed her brother's bullies. She threatens people. But here's the context. Every act of violence Wednesday commits is in defense of someone she loves. She's not hurting people for fun. She's protecting the vulnerable. And psychologically, that's not psychopathy. That's hypervigilance. It's a trauma response. Wednesday grew up in a family that taught her the world is dangerous, that people will hurt you if you don't hurt them first, and she internalized that. But she doesn't hurt innocent people. She targets bullies, abusers, threats. And honestly, that's closer to justice than psychopathy. So here's the truth. Wednesday Addams is not a psychopath. She's autistic, or at least neurodivergent. She has alexithymia. She has special interests. She struggles with social cues. She experiences sensory overload. She's loyal. She's protective. She feels deeply. She just doesn't perform emotions the way society expects. And instead of celebrating her authenticity, people pathologize her. They call her broken, dangerous, a psychopath. But she's not broken. She's just different. And different isn't dangerous. It's beautiful. So the next time someone calls Wednesday Addams a psychopath, ask them this. Does she manipulate people for personal gain? No. Does she lack empathy? No. Does she hurt people without reason? No. She's not a psychopath. She's an autistic girl surviving in a world that doesn't understand her. And honestly, that's the most relatable thing about her. Because we've all felt like outcasts. We've all been misunderstood. We've all been told we're too much or not enough. And Wednesday? She doesn't apologize for who she is. And maybe that's what the world needs to learn. That being different isn't a disorder. It's just being human.